Cape Cod Broadcasting weaves the listening environments of 99.9 WQRC, Ocean 104.7, WFCC Classical 107.5, Cape Country 104, and CapeCon.com's website experience to reflect the lifestyles of the people who live, work, and play on Cape Cod. We hope that you enjoy this podcast.
I'm Laura Reckford, and this is Sunday Journal. I'm here in the studio with Matt Kohler and Aisha Stewart of the New Classics Company, a new theater company in Hyannis. Matt and Aisha, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Now, let's start with you telling us about the New Classics Company. How did this group get started? Matt?
Myself and my two college colleagues, I guess, Justin Gray and Brett Burkhart, in 2013, the summertime, we wanted to put on a show. So the three of us got our heads together and we decided to do a production of the complete works of William Shakespeare abridged. They do all 37 plays of William Shakespeare in about an hour and a half. So it's a ruckus comedy. So we did that together, and then we finished the production, and we kind of fell in love with our characters a little bit, and we were like, oh, what would these guys do next? So we started to develop this script where the three guys then move on to produce in 2 hours the entire filmography of George Lucas in a bit of a parody mess. It's a lot of fun.
So you guys are very ambitious in your projects. I can tell that already.
Oh, yeah.
Let's back up a few steps. And did you guys grow up here on the Cape?
I, myself, grew up here on the Cape. I went to Barnstable High School and then went off to school. The three of us met in New Hampshire at Keene State College while we were there.
And, of course, Barnstable High School right across the street here has a very well-known theater program. Did you participate when you were in high school?
Of course. Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm a student of John Sullivan's through and through. Yeah.
So you learned to love theater here at Barnstable High, and did you go on to do theater in college?
I did indeed. I went to school for a bachelor's degree in theater and dance with a concentration specifically in directing. But then while I was there, I kind of fell in love with all the other aspects of theater, so I've gotten into producing, which is great, which is sort of how this whole venture started happening.
So you continued theater in college, and then you actually decide to come back to the Cape because many people interested in the performing arts might head for the big cities.
Yes, indeed. But in the big city, sure, there's a large amount of people all trying to do the same thing. But I've found here on the Cape there are a lot of opportunities waiting to be had. There's a lot of really passionate people in the theater community here, and they're really great people to work with.
Now, Aisha, how did you get involved in this?
Matt and I have a mutual friend, Tristan, and he and I were talking one day, and he was like, oh, yeah, Matt Kohler. And it's like, oh, yeah, I've known Matt for about a year or so now. And he's like, yeah, did you know that he has, like, a theater company? And I was just like, get out of here. I had no idea. So I just approached Matt one day and I was like, hey, Matt, so I heard that you have this theater, this like whole thing going on. Like, what can I do to be on your team? Like, what can I do to help you guys this summer? I'd love to join. And he was very poker faced and he said nothing about it. And I was just like, oh, darn, I've like totally blew that chance. And 3 weeks later, he's like, oh, I'll just invite you to like the group page and like the Dropbox. And I just saw that I was
You're part of it.
I was part of it already, and I was just like, "What am I even doing? I have no. You haven't even."
And we'll talk about the
really
upcoming
wonderful
season. But I know that you're involved in planning some parts of the upcoming season, so we'll get into details on that. Now, Matt, you call this a nomadic theater company. I know you have a home now. Do you call it a nomadic company because you started off where you didn't really have a home?
Oh yes, definitely. Yeah, we started out and we didn't really have a space to call our own. We had our very first production over at Barnstable High School, and then we toured that production around Barnstable. We did a show over at Liberty Hall in Marston's Mills, and then we did another one down at Hazleton Park, downtown Hyannis, straight by the harbor outside. So we didn't really have a home until just this past winter when last year's winter 2014, I was introduced to Lisa Kavanaugh, the program coordinator for the Geyer Barn. And from there, she really made the space available for us, and that's how we started our summer season last year. And
that's a great connection because many people may know that it's called the High Arts District, and it's a cultural designation from the state that the village of Hyannis has, in addition to the village of Barnstable Village on the north side of the Cape. Orleans and Sandwich are all designated cultural districts, and of course in those districts they need artists and performers and different things going on, so you guys fit perfectly into that.
Exactly. Yeah, there aren't that many performing arts too in the Hyannis downtown area, which is sort of how Lisa wrapped us up into this, because they have pottery, they've got their galleries in there, but they didn't really have a performing arts group in there, so they heard about us and kind of snatched us right up.
It's a good fit, and the Geyer Barn is a very special place. It's a historic barn, of course, and how does that match your needs?
It matches our needs pretty well. We like the rustic atmosphere of it, and it feels like home when you're in there. And for the productions we're doing right now, it keeps the audience close to the performers, and kind of keeps them. It makes it sort of a shared experience rather than an audience being separated by a stage.
And I was wondering about that because there isn't a lot of room there. So I guess you set up some chairs, and you probably can only fit 50, less than that in there.
40,
about
I think.
40,
yeah.
40 or so. Yeah.
But no, it's really lovely performing and being in an intimate space like that. I've gotten the chance to perform in an intimate space like the barn, and it is wonderful. Not only from an actor's standpoint, but from sitting in the audience, you are sitting in the actor's lap, and it's actually kind of nice because you feel like you kind of know them in a special way.
Great for the actors and great for the audience, it sounds like. Now, last summer was your first summer at the Geyer Barn, so how did it go? What did you do last summer?
Last summer was a fantastic success. We had, in the course of 7 weeks, we put on 3 main stage productions. We did a new kids show entitled Georgie's Full Swing that I wrote and directed myself, about a young boy who is trying to achieve playground legend by swinging a swing up and over the top of the swing set. And that was the most amount of fun I've ever had producing any sort of theater. And then from there we had a 4-day changeover, and we then produced the comedy Greater Tuna, which presents small town life in a fictional town in Texas. It's
super funny.
Very funny. Very funny,
yeah.
for sure. A lot of caricatures of small town life.
A lot of hijinks.
Yeah. And then the last production we did, of course, was our baby, the 3 of us with our comedy troupe. It was called I've Got a Bad Feeling About This, a tribute to George Lucas, where we performed all of his films on stage in parody form in about 2 hours.
Another very ambitious project.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Laura Reckford, and this is Sunday Journal. I'm talking to Matt Kohler and Aisha Stewart of the New Classics Company and New Theater Company here in Hyannis. Now, we were talking about last summer's different projects that you did down at the Geyer Barn. So let's get right into what's coming up this summer.
Well, this summer we have some wonderful new productions happening. Our company is sort of focused on doing more new work. You don't find a lot of that here on the Cape. So we're doing another original kids production written and directed by myself, entitled Alex Comes Clean. It's about a young girl who is trying to answer the age-old question, to clean or not to clean her room. And then as the story unfolds, she's encountered with an imaginary friend who becomes her best friend, who gets in the way of her cleaning. There's an evil babysitter. There's 80s power ballads galore. It'll be
perfect.
Oh, yeah. A lot of fun.
So we're actually doing auditions for that show the 18th and 19th of May. So it's coming up soon. So the 18th is a Monday, and we're holding auditions at the Geyer Barn from 6 to 9 p.m. And then the 19th is Tuesday, and we're holding auditions again at the Geyer Barn from 4 to 6.
And is it all kids in the show, or is it all ages?
For the the actors for the show, it'll be between the ages of probably 14 and 22 for 4 kids, 2 boys and 2 girls, and then a woman to play the mother, of course.
And before you go on with the other
Yes.
different projects, what I'm learning here as you talk about this is you're multi-talented, because apparently you're an actor in addition to a writer and a director and a producer. You do everything.
Yes, I wear a lot of hats.
Of those different things, is there one that you feel like, I'm this thing, but I'm also doing these things because I need to, or do you love all of it?
That is the question that people ask me all the time, and I can't really ever put my finger on it. If I were to make probably directing or producing, just because I like being able to be involved with all the different aspects of it, really.
And your 2 partners in this, do they also do all the different things?
We all sort of wear a lot of hats. Justin, he's our artistic director, so he takes more of the director's standpoint, and then Brett, he takes the actor's standpoint for sure. He's one of the best actors I know.
There isn't a lot of room in the Geyer Barn. Do you do fully staged productions with sets, or is it more make-believe?
What we sort of specialize in is instead of having sort of a set that's separate from the audience, we kind of immerse the audience is seating throughout the set. So as soon as you walk into that space, you are in that world. So we do fully immersive sets, but the audience is sort of on the set as well.
A lot of creativity involved in this, I could tell.
Definitely.
And so go on with some of your other things happening this summer.
We are also doing a special one weekend only production of, we're taking a portion of our George Lucas show, and we're doing, it's called Laugh It Up Fuzzball, New Classics Presents A New Hope, where we are producing just the story of Star Wars A New Hope on stage, and it will also include a lot of John Hughes references. So yeah, that'll be our big main stage kickoff. That'll be July 3rd and July 4th. And then our other big production we're putting on is a new adaptation of Lewis Carroll's Alice stories. It's mainly through the looking glass with a little bit of Alice's adventures in Wonderland mixed in, and that's adapted by our other new member, Greg Parker. He'll be directing as well, and that goes up in August 7th through 23rd, Friday through Sunday.
So those are several of the plays going on, and I think there are a number of other non-play things going on too. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, we're doing a home movie screening series as well as a play reading series, and we're also going to do a 24-hour play writing series. So that is actually going to be at the very beginning of August, the very end of July, very beginning of August. But yeah, I'm doing movie screenings, so we want to have movies on the town green. So a couple of weekends this summer, we're going to do like family night on the green, and we're going to host movies. We have a whole lineup of movies already prepared. Some of them, I'm just going to name a couple. We're doing Ferris Bueller's Day Off, which is my favorite movie. We're going to do The Wizard of Oz, WALL-E, Big, Young Frankenstein, Dirty Dancing, Mrs. Doubtfire, Casablanca, just to name a couple.
So lots of classic comedies there, classic movies there.
Yeah. Yes.
And obviously this is a free thing for the community.
Yes,
anyone can come.
Yes. And we're hoping that at the beginning of some of the movies, so before we show the movies, we'll kind of do an improv, little tease for anybody who's interested in coming to see our improv shows on Friday nights.
Now, when you talk about that 24-hour, is it playwriting festival? And so do people have to stay in the Geyer Barn for 24 hours, or how does
We're
this work?
We're going to chain them there.
Pretty much, we'll have a few people designated as writers, and they'll work for the first probably 8 to 10 hours of the 24 hours, and then the next morning, some directors and actors will take the newly written plays, rehearse them throughout the day, and then later that night they'll perform these brand new plays. So it'll be a whole production process in 24 hours.
But it's really fun. Like when you go to something like this, the energy is just like it's unlike anything else, because there's such there's like this frenetic energy, and everybody's trying to get it done, and the actors are just throwing things on themselves just to kind of just like do things and like bring props, and the director's like, yeah, just do it. And it's so fun when you do a script that's quasi tailored to you. So the writers will know who their actors are, and so they'll write this little 10-minute play, and it's tailored to these actors, whether they're short or tall, or maybe they play around with some physicality there, and it's pretty cool.
So we've talked about, you have the full performances, you have the movie screenings, you have the 24-hour play festival, and you've mentioned a couple times the improv comedy troupe.
Yes.
And that sounds like that's very much a part of what you guys do.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Pretty much every Friday night in the barn, we do, usually around 9 o'clock or so, we do a free... definitely free improv comedy show for anyone who'll join, and it's up until last year I hadn't really had much experience with improv, but one of our other members, Brett, he's classically trained in improv, I guess you would say, but he gets everyone involved, gets the audience involved, and it's one of the most fun nights we have of the week.
So that's sure. Fridays at what time? At
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, 9 p.m. on Fridays. And is that summer only, or is that year-round?
That at this moment in time, it'll be summer only. We'll see come the fall.
Unless you want to go hang out at Matt's house in the winter.
Yeah.
So you guys are having a lot of fun at the Geyer Barn. In the last minute or so, how can people get tickets for these things? Do they just show up, or how does it all work?
People can go on to our website, www.newclassicscompany.org. We have a lot of content there. The link for tickets will be on there. A lot of our events are free, though, so they won't necessarily have to make reservations, but if they go on the website, they can definitely make reservations.
I would definitely say check out our website, because we are going to have our whole calendar of events up there, and you can buy tickets, you can contact us, you can take a look at what we're doing.
Unfortunately, we're out of time. I've been talking to Matt Kohler and Aisha Stewart of the New Classics Company. Thank you, Matt and Aisha, for being with me here today.
Thank you
so much.
Appreciate it.
I'm Laura Reckford, and this is Sunday Journal.
This podcast is a presentation of Cape Cod Broadcasting, which is solely responsible for its content. Thank you for listening. For more information, please visit us at capecodbroadcasting.com.